I can't let you take your man's Warhammer, son. Now get off.
The Necrons have had massive buffs, not least the Silent King, and while he's only had a 20-point drop, making him core is massive. In this video, I'll cover the best combos for making the best use out of him. I actually took Necrons to an RTT this weekend and went unbeaten. A version of melee crons and the Silent King was fantastic, making a mobile castle for both shooting and melee. His individual output in both those was actually great too. A quick look at his profile, 3 different ranged attacks which are pretty handy, from the super killy 2 shots of the menhirs to 9 single damage shots. And there were 3 different melee attacks totaling 13 attacks, all pretty handy too. I found even against Space Marines with Armour of Contempt and good saves, they were all effective. And let's see how many combos we're going to talk about. Number 1 in no particular order, as your Warlord, he gives you 3 additional command points. Great in the new Nephilim season where you get reduced starting CP. 2 now is a core unit, you can also buff himself. He has tons of abilities that buff core and these can also now buff him. You got reroll ranged hits, reroll melee wounds, +1 to move, and my will be done, which is give a unit +1 to hit, can be done twice. The king hits on 2s anyway and rerolls all failed hits, so it's best giving that out to other units. And number 3 to start off the named character synergies, you got Amrit the Traveller. I actually took this guy in my army this weekend and he performed well. You get +1 attack for nearby core units, which was absolutely great. Also can give my will be done to a unit as well, so that's 3 each turn. As an extra synergy, considering giving him the Warlord trait Implacable Conqueror for a 6-inch aura of reroll charges. This is a perfect synergy with a +1 attack. This is a common Warlord trait you probably won't be taking, doesn't necessarily have to be on this guy. And it's surprisingly actually really worth pushing the Silent King up and into the enemy. He's buffing all the rest of the units that are already engaged anyway, and he's pretty tough himself. You should get him stuck in melee. I found he performed very well. The next named dude who I also took this weekend was Illuminor Zereth. His mechanical augmentation ability can now target the Silent King. It is a random ability, can either get a +1 strength or toughness, which are really good. And the +1 to ballistic skill is a bit of a waste. He also has rites of reanimation, which crucially allows you to bring back a destroyed menhir. And considering all the wounds are allocated to these first, that's a massive durability buff. 5 wounds brought back with a 4+ invuln. A load of other HQs now. You got the Technomancer, one of the cheapest ways to get rites of reanimation, which as we discussed helps the menhirs. This guy's actually great for the rest of your Canoptic army, being able to give them a +1 to hit for only 10 points extra. Chronomancer is another way to get reroll charges. As an extra nicety, it also has an aura of 5+ invuln. Not something that's going to help the Silent King, but will help troops and most elites. The Necron Codex is packed with HQs, and at number 7 you got the Royal Warden. You can give out an eligibility to do fall back, shoot and charge. I said the Silent King is quite handy in combat, but having the option to fall back and shoot at priority targets rather than shooting into combat is actually nice. And then you can charge back in anyway. At number 8, we're going to look at the command protocol combos with Silent King. You got Protocol of Eternal Guardian and Directive 1. You can get your armor save up to a 2+ if you don't move. And importantly, if you go second, you automatically get this. And that's going to make a difference because it's a priority target. Protocol of the Sudden Storm, Directive 1 you're after. It's +1 to move and combines with the Silent King's ability as well. So that means he's got a base 10-inch move. Protocol of Vengeful Stars. Directive 1 for 6s to wound give extra AP. And Directive 2 to ignore cover at half range. Both are really good. Protocol of the Conquering Tyrant. Directive 1 gives 3 inches to his auras. So that's going to extend him out to 9 inches. And because he's such a good buffing castle, that's really going to be helpful. Protocol of the Hungry Void. Directive 2 you want here. +1 strength on the charge. Always helpful if you're going to be sending the king into melee. And Protocol of the Undying Legions. If it's Zerakan, then he gets both the directives. But the first one is probably the best. And you get an extra wound gain back with Living Metal. And number 9, Necron's favourite, Veil of Darkness. The amazing relic that lets you teleport across the board. Actually lets you shift the Silent King now because he's core. It's a big scary surprise for someone. In fact, I did this to great effect this weekend. Number 10, Disruptive Field Stratagem for 1 CP. +1 strength. If you combine that with a command protocol, that takes the Silent King up to strength 7. And number 11, like I said, in no particular order, the Hypermaterial Ablator, a Cryptek upgrade, only 20 points, and this can give a unit +1 to the armor save against anything ranged over 12 inches. So your Technomancer or your Chronomancer giving rites of reanimation or reroll charges with this is going to really help the Silent King. Really keen to know what combos and how you're going to be playing your Silent King. See you again soon. Bye.